Hockey sticks aren't exactly cheap if you're looking for a good one, so finding the one that fits you just right can be pretty frustrating. There's just a lot of things to consider when stick shopping. You have the length of the shaft, the lie of the stick, how much flex it has, and more. There's nothing to worry about though, because today we're going to go over exactly how to find the perfect stick for you. Now before we get started, it's important to remember that at the end of the day, everything comes down to your own personal preference. The general guidelines and, most common measurements might not be perfectly comfortable for you. So just make sure to tweak things and adjust them accordingly to fit your own needs. The first thing we're going to look for is stick height. The most common way to find a comfortable stick height is to stand straight up with the tip of your stick's toe on the ground. Ideally, you want the end of your stick to be in between your nose and your chin when you're standing on your skates. If it's above your nose, that usually indicates that the stick is too long, and if it comes below your chin, that's a good sign that the stick is too short. If you're just wearing regular running shoes when going to find a new stick, just make sure the stick reaches about your nose level. That way, once you get your skates on and you're a little bit taller, your stick will end up in between your nose and your chin. But like I said earlier, these guidelines aren't exactly perfect for everybody. Your ideal stick height might also depend on the position you play or the types of plays that you try to make on the ice. For example, players that excel at stick handling and deking out other players might want a stick that's a little bit shorter than average. A shorter stick is a lighter stick, and that makes it easier to handle. But it also makes it easier to keep the puck close to you in order to get it past a defender. If you usually play a defensive position, a longer stick might feel more comfortable for you. A longer reaching stick will make it easier to poke the puck away from attackers, intercept passes, and stop the puck before it leaves your end. And last but not least, an average stick length, which is in between your nose and your chin, is great for all-around play. With an average stick length, you should be more than capable of getting into those corners and digging for pucks, harassing the defenders in front of the net, handling the puck, making poke checks, intercepting passes, and making a variety of shots. After we've got our stick length down, the next thing we want to figure out is the lie of the stick. The lie is the angle in between the shaft and the blade of the stick, and it's usually indicated by a number in between 4 and 7. The higher the lie number, the more upright your stick will be. The most commonly used stick lies would be the numbers 5 and 6, which rest at about 135 degrees. I don't know if I got the angle right, but you get the point. When it comes to finding your perfect lie, ideally you want the blade of your stick to be laying flat on the ice when you're standing straight upright with your stick. However, the lie of your stick will also be affected by your stick's length and your natural height, so just make sure to do a little bit of trial and error. Now that you've got your stick lie and length figured out, the next step is to find the most comfortable flex for you. When it comes to all those flex numbers you see on sticks, the number indicates how many pounds of force is needed to flex the stick 1 inch. Stick flex is important when taking all types of shots, and having the right stick flex can greatly improve your power and your accuracy. The general rule of thumb is to choose a stick flex number that's about half of your body weight. So if a child weighs about 100 pounds, you'll probably be looking for a stick flex of 50. For a senior hockey player weighing about 170 pounds, they would probably be most comfortable with an 85 flex stick. So just take your weight, divide it by 2, and find the closest flex number that feels the most comfortable. Picking a right or left-handed stick might seem like common sense to most people, but you'd be surprised how many people get into hockey and end up choosing the wrong-handed stick. Say for example you write with your left hand, then a right-handed stick should be ideal for you, and vice versa. If you write with your right hand, try using a left-handed stick. You probably won't find yourself skating around the ice holding your stick with both hands most of the time, so that's why it feels most comfortable to use your dominant hand at the top of the stick when skating around. And to be honest, this will make it easier to do a lot of things one-handed, like poke check, receive passes, and it'll just overall improve your stick handling. Congratulations, we've reached the home stretch. By now you've figured out your comfortable stick length, lie, flex, and hand. The final step, and probably one of the most important, is the type of blade curve. First up, we have the heel curve. A heel curve has its curve start toward the back of the blade. This type of blade gives you a large sweet spot that's perfect for powerful slap shots and one-timers. The heel curve blade also creates a large backhand sweet spot, allowing for much better offhand control. Next, we have the mid curve, which is the most common type of blade. The curve on this one begins in between the heel and the toe. You might hear people refer to this blade sometimes as the well-rounded curve or the utility curve. The heel still has a nice large sweet spot area, but because of the position of the curve, these type of blades allow for great wrist shots and snapshots. And finally, we have the toe curve. This type of stick has the curve begin and end at the edge of the blade, making it extremely easy to perform wrist shots and get the puck off the ice. Despite being the least common type of curve, these blades have a long flat section at the heel which provides great offhand and forehand control. And once you've chosen the position of your blade curve, the next step is choosing how significant you want that curve to be. You can find sticks with deep curves or very moderate slight curves. A slight or moderate curve will help increase your puck control, but it's going to be a little bit harder to get your shots to rise. The deeper your blade curve is, the more control you'll have with your forehand when aiming your shots. However, you might end up sacrificing a little bit of control with your backhand. And finally, the last thing to consider when looking at blade curves is whether you want an open-faced blade or a closed-faced blade. An open-faced blade is angled back slightly, and a closed-faced blade is angled forward slightly. The main difference is that an open curve makes it a lot easier to get the puck off the ice while still offering great backhand protection, whereas a closed-faced blade helps keep the puck low to the ice and really helps when protecting the puck with your forehand. The type of blade style you go with is probably the most significant and personal choice you can make when choosing your hockey stick, so make sure to try out as many blade types as you can before choosing one. Blade curves are labeled by each hockey manufacturer using NHL players' names. So for more information on which players' names correspond to the blade curve that you're looking for, I'll have all the links in the video description below. Finding the right stick is extremely important if you want to get the most out of your game. You could be an amazing sniper and just not even know it because the whole time you've been using the wrong stick. So just make sure to follow these steps carefully and you'll end up finding the perfect stick for you. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, make sure to smash that like button and drop us a comment down below. Don't want to miss our next upload? Subscribe and make sure to click that bell icon so you get notified as soon as the next video goes up. And if you want to stay in touch, all of our social media pages are in the video description below. You can also find our web store at stadiumsports.net. As always, I'm Steven from Stadium Sports, and thanks for watching.